Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 12th of April. Today we're going to look at South 32, Pioneer Credit, PNC, Altium, ALU, and C-Link, SCA. If you have any requests, send me an email, and any advice here is general only. So the first one we're looking at is South 32. This is a daily chart going back a little bit over a year. I'll zoom out to a weekly and you can see that for the last 2 years the shares have been trending up quite nicely. I like the look of this one here. It looks like we've had the shares form this sort of triangular formation here, and there was a nice sort of breakout there. I'm just going to zoom in a bit more. So this is the daily chart. So we had a good breakout here, bit of volume coming back in. So this looks quite interesting. It looks like it might resume the uptrend. Obviously the key level we need to look out for is this sort of 360 mark. I'll zoom out a bit more. If it can't overlap here, then it suggests that this is a fourth wave. In other words, we've got sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, and if it struggles, then we'll have a fifth wave down towards about $3. So far it's looking good. Definitely needs to get past 360. We need to see a close above that, and if it does that, you can add to your position or even look to enter on that higher probability trade. Okay, next one, Pioneer Credit, looking good. So weekly chart here, going back the last few years, clearly it's still trending higher. Went up a bit vertically at the beginning of the year and has come back naturally. Maybe it uses up a bit more time. Essentially, what we've noticed is, I'm just finding my drawing tool. So we've got the previous high here for PNC. It's managed to fall back and sit on top of that, which can be pretty bullish. We could see it launching higher from here. But yeah, too early to say whether it just goes back into the uptrend or if it just uses up a little bit more time first. The other thing I've just noticed is if I get the Fibonacci tool out and measure this move, we could see it's come back to the 61.8% retracement level. So good support here. Even if it does come back a bit, it's still sitting in an overall uptrend. Okay, Altium, another stock that's had a good run over the last few years, gone up a bit vertically. Obviously, it always looks overbought at that point. So it's using up a bit of time here. What I've noticed is it could be forming a head and shoulders. So we've got, I'll circle for you that's the left shoulder, right shoulder. Obviously that's the head. So we've got head and shoulders. If it breaches this, what we do is we see a move equal to this distance here, at the very least. Okay, so I can just get any sort of tool. I can use an arrow, grab it, stick it down there. And as you can see, that brings us to the low 16s, which is about where we saw that gap. So it all seems to make sense that if we get a breach of this neckline, we should be targeting at least the low 16s. And finally, sorry, wrong chart. There we go, C-Link, SLK. All right, so we'll just zoom out. Big move up, 2015 to early 2016, and then it's just tracked sideways. So, potentially bullish. If it finishes this consolidation, we could see a big move. However, a couple of points to note. There's clearly support in this sort of high $3 region, which it's bounced off a few times, which is good. The downside is that we're getting these lower highs. So it looks like a triangle. Ideally, we want this triangle to be going the other way. In other words, we want the flat bit to be at the top, and we want to see higher lows, but we've got the flat bit at the bottom and we've got lower highs. So not ideal. Clearly the range is starting to tighten up, so we could be pretty close to getting a breakout. And I think when we do get a breakout, we'll get a fairly decent move. Hopefully, if you're a holder, it's not to the downside. But if we see an upside break, then yeah, there'll be some decent upside there and worth a trade. All right, well, that's it for this week. As always, email me the stocks you'd like to have a look at, and also share this video on social media. You know, the more requests we get, the more chance I have to share with you something that looks really interesting.